Have you ever tried some really crazy colors on spinner baits? Think about that. Some crazy color combinations. Whoa! That's a beauty. Good morning, guys and girls. Good morning, March 24. Golly, what a great spring day this is going to be. Things are greening up every single day. It depends on where you are in the country. The further south you go, the greener it is. The farther north you go, well, if you live north, get in your truck, drive 800 miles south, and you will see green. All right. Psalm 119:80. Psalm 119:80. Oh, man, I love this one. Let me obey your demands perfectly, so I will not be ashamed. You ever been ashamed of something you've done? Have you done something that you really don't want to share with anybody else? You don't want to testify about. It's something that, well, you did it, but you were really ashamed of it after. I've done that a lot. I mean, a lot. I think we all have. David says in Psalms, let me obey your demand perfectly. I guess this one was probably written by Solomon. Let me obey your demands perfectly, so I will not be ashamed. So when we disobey God's commands, that's one of the consequences that we have. I love to slow roll a Jimmy Houston Legend spinnerbait over submerged grass in the early spring. That's where a lot of big female bass are staging. Now, when female bass come in to spawn, they come in and they stage out in an area, usually about 4 to 7 feet. So it can be deeper than that if the water's real clear. But they stage and get ready to move in and get on a bed. Now, when they get on that bed, they're not going to be there very long. The bigger the bass, the shorter period of time they stay on a bed. That's kind of my rule of thumb. And the only way I can back that up is I've just gone through a lot of springs. I've gone through a lot of spawning seasons with the bass. And it seems like if you find a really big one, 8, 9, 10, 11-pound bass, you go back the next day and she may not be there. I mean, she's already spawned and left. They don't spend that much time up in really shallow water. So we've only got a short period of time we can catch those fish in shallow water. The rest of the time of the year, we've got to catch them out deep somewhere. And they suspend a lot. That makes it kind of difficult to catch the giants. I'm talking about the really big fish. But they stage, and what they do when they stage is they'll set up in an area, usually 4 to 7, 5 to 8, depending on the depth, 6 to 10, 12 foot deep. And they go in and kind of look around in the shallow area and find out where they're going to spawn. The males are making the beds, and they're going to find out where they're going to spawn. Then they go back out, and then they come in and lay their eggs. But when this happens, I like to slow roll that big spinnerbait over that grass. Try to learn to just barely tick the top of the grass with your bait. Keep your spinnerbait at just the right depth. That's the key to catching really big strings of really big bass, just as keeping God's law is the key to everything that we do in our life. Just ticking the top of that grass. Now, if you've got some of the modern day, like a Garmin fish finder with a live scope on it, you can actually see your bait so you can watch it and keep it right above that grass, and just about it where it's just barely ticking the grass. Not getting in the grass, getting hung up because they won't bite it, but just ticking the top of that grass. Keeping God's law, that's the key to success in everything we do in life. Integrity, integrity is not something that we're born with. Yeah. In fact, we are born with just the opposite. We are born with sin. How old were you when you told your first lie? When did you learn to put a sentence together? No matter what, we must learn to not cut corners when we get in a bind. That's what destroys our integrity. That's what causes us to do things that are against God's commands and laws, is we cut corners. We get in a bind, we cut corners. We do things that destroys our integrity. And you can work for years and do hundreds or thousands of things right and build up a great integrity and destroy it in 5 minutes. Really, you can. When a situation arises today and you got a chance to cut corners, you got a chance to do something that might hurt your integrity, ask God to help you rely on His principles. Grow your integrity today. Your integrity today is probably not going to stay the same. It's going to get a little bit better. It's going to get a little bit worse. There will be situations that God puts in your life, definitely some situations the devil puts in your life, that will cause you to bend the rules just a little bit. Maybe tell a little white lie, maybe kind of compromise in a little situation, maybe do a little something that I hope nobody's looking that I know, particularly my wife. Don't cut those corners. Grow your integrity. Here's our tip for today, and it's a good one. It's a great one, especially for this time of the year. Don't be afraid to mix and match some wild colors of spinnerbaits, such as, listen to this, bubble gum. That's hot pink. You girls can call it hot pink. You guys call it bubble gum. A bubble gum skirt, or a bubble gum head, and a chartreuse skirt. Either way. Either way. Don't be afraid to put some colors together that look kind of crazy, especially if you have smallmouth where you're fishing. They like the crazy colors. Guys and girls, go out there and have you a great one today. Subscribe to the Catch of the Day channel. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button right now. Share it with some of your friends. We got about 12,000 people on there shooting for 100,000. Have a great one out there today, and remember,